with a 2-hour show.
And we are live.
And you can still bring in these people. You can still bring in, then you can have all the people that maybe aren't ready for NXT still sitting in the Performance Center. They can maybe do their own touring and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need to see what's going on in the Performance Center. Some of these guys don't need to be shown as much as they are.
Look at, for prime example, Chris, we were talking about him earlier, Gunner.
Yeah, like I said.
Gunner's been signed for, I don't even know how long. I've yet to see him on main TV. Or Dijak.
Yeah, he's been, well, the Dijak will be up on main TV probably pretty soon, because I don't know if you pay attention to many things. He has a faction now.
The thing about Dijak, man, and I will firmly say this to you guys, is I'm a massive Dijak fan, and I think he has potential to be a world champion in the E. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen him live, and that guy oozes the it factor.
He has the size, the look.
He is so fucking good. He portrays a heel so well. So well. I watched him face a Chikara guy called Flex Rumble Crunch in the main event of a Blitzkrieg show last summer, and it was fucking phenomenal. It felt like I was watching a WrestleMania match.
Alright, so I've started recording while you guys were ranting.
Like 20 minutes ago?
Like 2 minutes ago.
Okay, good.
I'm kidding.
And I said we were live, and you guys kept going on, but that's fine.
It's okay. We'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I'll keep it live. Hello there, YouTube.
Hey, real quick. What were you saying that I said was compromised?
Compromised? What is this?
I don't know. He was like, oh, well, Connor said something was compromised. And I'm like, what?
No, we were talking about, Chris and I earlier today had a conversation in Messenger about how NXT needs to go and become 2 hours.
Become 2 hours?
No.
A 2-hour show needs to be...
No, like 10 minutes before that.
No, I said that you already did it in your universe.
No, before that.
Oh, no, he's talking about the network, maybe the GFW network. Which
I think.
No,
did you say
on the
I
GFW
swear to God, none of us said something has to be compromised, Connor.
No. I mean, like, I think I know what you're talking about. I think you were saying when I was talking about watch wrestling online or something, whatever that site is that we used to all watch.
No, that's what I said. I said it sucks that it got compromised.
Oh no, but
it
hasn't.
Watch my wrestling on it.
But it hasn't. It's all good.
Good. Okay.
I was just having issues with it for some reason that day. And it just kept messing up on me.
In all seriousness, let's get this show on the road. I mean, we're live. We got shit to talk about.
Yeah.
So that being said, hello YouTube. I am the chairman of For the Love of Wrestling, which is what is airing this podcast. We would like to welcome you. We have Chris Mullins, Connor Brakefield, and Ethan Novento here. Ethan is usually the one who does the greeting, but fuck it. I'll do the goddamn greeting. And that's just two guys.
I'll do the greeting today, damn it.
I'll send everybody a greeting card.
Alright, guys. So, Ethan. Let's get this show on the road. Earlier this week, Ethan posted in our Facebook group a poll about who should be our top 10. Wrestlers, following Daniel Bryan's idea of quote-unquote the SmackDown Live Power 10. And we did our own. So we figured we would tell you guys live who our top 10 was and see if we agree, disagree, or are neutral.
So, I wasn't expecting, like, some of these superstars to be on the top 10. And I ended the polls a little while ago. So, I'm going to tell you right now, Ty Dillinger is nowhere on this list.
Oh, he shouldn't be. He shouldn't have been. It was a meme to make him number 10 on that list anyway.
He wasn't even... Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with the guy, but, like, he hasn't even done anything in forever.
We've seen him, like, twice.
It's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault. But...
The last thing I remember Ty doing was for a little while he worked the program with Corbin before they pulled him off TV again.
Mm-hmm. Because they don't want the fans counting 10.
Well,
because it gets too memey when they do that. That's the thing. It was cool when it was like, okay, cool, we're chanting 10, 10, 10 for like a cheer and whatnot. Then it was, the referee's doing the count out outside the ring. We're gonna chant 10 for every number.
We're gonna still say 10. Yeah.
That got stupid. And then when he wasn't even in the ring, then it would be the next match where he wasn't even in the ring. And
they're still doing the chant. Yeah, I know. It did get overplayed. And there's a couple other chants in the world of wrestling that got overplayed that we could get into later.
Oh,
we wanted to talk about chants.
I'm looking at you weasel, Daniel Bryan.
And it's not even the yes chant. I was thinking the Too Sweet chant.
Oh, yeah, that's... anything Bullet Club's overplayed.
When the ref is counting the 1, 2, 3, and then the ref hits 2, and then the crowd goes, sweet! It gets really freaking annoying.
I haven't even caught that. Sometimes I'm not paying attention.
You only hear it at the Marquee shows.
One chant I love, and I will continue to love, is when the announcers are saying this match is scheduled for 1 fall, and the fans chant back 1 fall. I love that. It helps me set my mind into, okay, time to get serious.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to pump you up.
The one chance I like is when they sing theme songs, because that actually still doesn't get old.
That is cool, especially when it happens with Shinsuke. I've noticed. I don't know if it's because Bobby hasn't been doing as good or what, but it seems that they've kind of stopped singing his glorious theme.
Well, I know that I will be seeing both of them in action, both Shinsuke and Bobby in action next month, and I will be singing both theme songs.
But okay, back to the list.
All right. So, number 10 was Carmella.
For what brand?
SmackDown.
Okay.
We're doing SmackDown first. So number 10 was Carmella.
I can agree with that. She's missed Money in the Bank.
No problem with that at all.
Number 9 was the Usos.
Again,
they should be further up the list.
They should be further up the list, I think, in my opinion.
But this is,
remember, I completely agree. I mean, definitely deserve a spot on the list, but not number 9.
This is poll based, so this is based on who people voted for.
I can at least agree with them being on the list 100%.
Because they have become, in my personal opinion, alongside AJ Styles, the workhorses of SmackDown Live.
I'll say that they're the best tag team in the world today.
I actually agree to that sentiment.
Yeah.
Best tag team in the world.
Do.
Any company, and I'm looking at you. We all know who I'm referring to.
I would love to see somewhere down the line the Bucks versus the Usos, because I just think that would be cool. But I do agree in terms of just the gimmick, the look, presentation, and everything. I think the Usos have been on top of their game. I think this run needs to continue. I think there's a ton of tag teams I'm interested in seeing them face, and I just hope WWE doesn't fuck it up.
So actually, the Usos and this next person kind of got the same amount of votes, so it's kind of like a tie. The next person on the list is Becky Lynch.
Becky!
Okay, here's my thing. And hopefully you guys agree with me on this. I agree to disagree.
Yeah, I'll agree to disagree on that.
She was off TV because of the Marine, and even before that, she wasn't really doing much. So
Becky hasn't done much, honestly, since she won the title.
Yeah.
She's kind of become stale, in my personal opinion.
Well, her gimmick hasn't tweaked at all. Like, everyone else, I feel like, has tweaked their gimmick a little bit, bits and pieces.
And she's still running the same gimmick.
She's still running the same. I'm Becky Lynch. I'm Irish. I'm a fire. Yeah, it's just the same stuff. It's everybody else, even if it's just a little bit, has tweaked their gimmick.
Or added something else in. She's still running off of the straight fire.
Yeah, like it got old. She needs to change that up, and then I'll agree with her being on that list. Yeah, I agree with Mullins on that one.
All right, the next person that beat both the Usos and Becky Lynch in the poll.
So we'll call Becky 8, and then this person 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Sami
Even though
Zayn.
it was tied.
Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I didn't. Sure.
Yeah, okay. Here's another thing for me, yes and no.
Sami Zayn hasn't done anything.
I will talk about this later on in the podcast, but I'll do it now. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, even though I love them, have become
Sami Zayn?
Yeah, whatever. Incredibly annoying.
I'm so torn on that.
Sami Zayn and this is the one, because like I am someone who, much like Josh, was mainly WWE for my entire life because we didn't really have a great indie scene when I was a kid.
True.
When I was a kid, it was E and it was WCW and ECW. So like literally, like and I will tell you right now, Sami Zayn is the most overrated of all these indie guys that they brought in. I'll tell you that right now. He's good at being annoying, but like it's almost to the point where it's like it's more of an annoying like I just don't even want to see you on my TV. Not like annoying. Oh, I hate that guy. I hope he gets beat up. I just don't want to see him.
The thing about it is for me is
sound like Vince Russo.
They're annoying, but they're not annoying. And the reason why I say they're annoying is because they need to get out of the WWE title picture. They've overstayed their welcome.
Be in the tag division. Go be in the tag division.
I'm okay with Kevin Owens in there, but
Kevin Owens has gotten. He's one of those guys that consistently gets better. Like he was always pretty good when he came in NXT, but he's consistently gotten better to the WWE style of things.
Yeah.
The problem about it is I appreciate he's a damn good wrestler, but this heel gimmick and him being Kevin Owens' butt buddy is getting old.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that they were giving him a gay gimmick. I hate saying it. I'm not a
homophobe at all.
I thought it was a gay gimmick. I thought it was a gay gimmick.
It's the truth.
I understand why you said that, because there was talks that they were going to do like a gay gimmick, and they were saying it was going to be like a lesbian.
At first, because like he was so like sensitive toward everything at first, and I was like, I don't know, did they really give him a gay gimmick?
And his
are you talking about right now?
Yeah, I'm talking about Sami right now. Like when he first became a heel and whatnot, I thought it was a gay gimmick.
I completely agree on this one because the way he dances and his mannerisms, they scream gay, and I hate. Don't get me wrong. Nothing against gay people.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm not a homophobe whatsoever. But
they completely scream it.
I call it how I see it.
Yeah, I thought y'all were making them like they were like the gay couple, which I was like, yeah.
I'm like earning more and more respect for Mullins because we're really like when it comes to wrestling. We call it as we see it, and I like that.
No, I'm saying like I would completely agree with that. Like I feel like they're the gay couple.
Like no, like, I saw this one thing where like it was this like almost like a cartoon of their entrance, and it was just like a cartoon like hopping around and skipping around, and
it was oh my god, it was The Simpsons.
He just dragging his knuckles.
It was The Simpsons. God, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't think of their names right now. But so I used to live with a gay couple for the longest time, so I've learned all their terminology. So I was like, yeah, they're gay. Kevin top, Sami bottom.
Okay, so next on the list is Charlotte.
I can agree that she's the women's champion. She needs to be higher, though.
I agree to that with Mullins. She needs to be higher.
This is number 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she should be higher.
She should at least be in the top 5. She should be at minimum number 4.
Yeah, she would be 4 in my list.
Kevin Owens is number 5.
I can agree with that. We just talked about Owens, so we can probably just skip past that one because we just talked about why he deserves to be up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say we kind of talked about both of them, so yeah, that's true.
4?
I'm surprised that number 4 isn't higher, or at least a little bit. Rusev.
I was really thinking Rusev Day would be number 1.
Yeah.
I honestly think about who they are.
Oh my god, I'm going to say this again.
Over in the entire company.
I'm just going to go ahead and say this again. I've mentioned it plenty of times since I've been. But when I was at, I almost said Raw, when I was at SmackDown in January, crowd was like, Rusev Day, and then it shows Daniel in the background. Oh yeah, the crowd's really behind Breezango, and I'm like, no, we're not. Like, I was like, is he retarded?
Rusev is
even if your script
phenomenal.
tells you to say that, even if your script tells you to say, oh, the crowd's really into, no, make an audible.
And that's the great thing about it right now is that Rusev and even Aiden is riding off the momentum of Rusev, and I think Aiden's in the spot where he should be. He's good. He's getting TV time, but alongside Rusev, he's going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Aiden. I feel like he's very underrated. But yeah, I mean, he is finally. Like, he is getting that spot he deserves. Like, he doesn't deserve, like, I'm not saying give the man a world title shot, but I'm, like, definitely saying, like
in a United States Championship shot or even a run at the tag.
I would love that. I would love that.
That would be
well,
really
maybe
awesome.
not right.
When they got added to that tag title match back at Clash of Champions, I swore I thought they were going to give them the titles there.
Me too. I was like, oh my god, it's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen.
Listen, I'm the only one who thought that match was phenomenally messy and sloppy.
Oh, yeah, it was messy.
All right.
I liked it, but at the same time, it was a little off.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll tell you why it was
all
off. It was because those two goofballs that don't. I hope they're not even higher up on this thing. It's Gable and Benjamin. Oh
my god, that team is terrible.
I don't like them. I think they're both way overrated. Both need to be fired.
They tried to get so much heat in Birmingham. They're like, oh, Alabama sucks, and I'm like, that's so. I literally started screaming. I was like, that's unoriginal. So literally,
unintelligent. They won the national title.
Literally, an unoriginal chant started talking.
All right, so number 3. Here comes the top 3. So number 3 is Bobby Roode.
Agreed.
I can see that.
Yeah.
He's not done anything but get amazing since being in WWE.
And his match with Rusev last week was probably the match of SmackDown Live, so agreed.
That was a really good
match. Rusev did so good. And so, I mean, of course Bobby did.
I know. It was an awesome match in the end sequence when Bobby hit the glorious DDT. That's the only thing I don't like. And somebody already said it before. Bobby shouldn't have a DDT finisher. I feel like DDT finishers are overused.
Yeah.
I don't know why he doesn't use the fisherman suplex anymore.
Good question.
He should go back to that, or what was the other one he had? He had some kind of variation of a powerbomb in TNA.
I was going to say the Root Bomb.
I don't think it was him, though. I think it was James Storm who did the powerbomb maneuver. I don't know.
Well, they both... Yeah, you're thinking of the crucifix powerbomb from James Storm, but he did... I don't really know what you would call his. His is like... It's like a weird... sideways power. I don't really know how to explain it. It's weird though. But it would be better. It would be better than the glorious DDT.
But the glorious DDT just looks like and screams, "This is a move I could kick out of."
Yeah, kind of.
It seems like a regular
signature.
Feels like a finisher to me, and I don't know if it's because of the way the wrestlers sell it or what. But when wrestlers get hit by it, it's just like, oh yeah, we're laying here. There's no like, my head, my neck. I'm just laying here. I'm going to kick out.
Yeah.
Number 2, Ethan.
AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to hear my opinion on this? Here's my real opinion on this. AJ Styles shouldn't be on the list whatsoever.
Get the fuck out.
No, I have no reason why I'm saying this.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
He's WWE champion. Why should he be?
But that's why he should.
He doesn't need an opportunity. He's a fucking champion.
The list is for I can understand why he's number 2 on our list, but as it pertains to their list.
Well, hold on. Explain to me what the top 10 list is supposed to be.
It's supposed to be for pushes and shit.
Okay, well maybe. Okay, see that's what I get. That's what I.
That's
got
why I don't
confused
understand
about.
why half these champions were on it in the first place. To be honest, yeah, like I agree that for our list, I agree that they should be on there. But for like the list of SmackDown, I don't agree that any of the champions should have been on there.
You know, maybe people got confused like I did. I thought it was just who's your top 10 favorite people. I feel like
if it's general top 10, maybe we'll be more specific about it next week. But if it's general top 10, Styles should definitely be on there.
I was a little weird.
Styles, I can see why he's number 2, but I still feel he deserves number 1.
I'm confused as to who's number 1 at this point.
Yeah, I am too. That's all. I was
I'm
really
very intrigued to hear who's number 1.
Let's hear it.
So number 1 is, if you're thinking in your
He
mind.
already sounds disappointed.
No. I'm just trying to build
Did he
suspense.
not though? He was like, number 1 is.
No. I'm just.
Number 1 is Mini Man Warrior Man Jensen.
Hey, it's my babe. Hi, Maddie.
Wait, who?
Oh wait, it's not Maddie. I think that's Kristen. Oh my God.
Calling Kristen your babe.
SpongeBob reference.
Connor's gonna fight you.
Josh.
I'll get into the chat.
Josh, that was Maddie.
That was Maddie.
Oh no, it is Maddie. So why the hell am I?
I wasn't mad. I just didn't know what she said. That's why I was like, what?
Maddie Bear said Schnitty Warman Jensen.
Okay, well,
he was number 1.
Ethan, control the podcast.
Okay. So
Smitty,
I was gonna say number 1 until she said that. So.
I feel like he should be my next call.
Okay. So number 1, if you're thinking in your mind, you probably already know who it is.
No.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, duh.
Okay.
Man,
How the fuck did I not think of
my
that?
mind. That's completely slipped me.
I forgot that he was winning by dominating votes.
No, it was very close between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura.
But okay, in all seriousness, Shinsuke just won the Royal Rumble, so I can see why he's number 1.
Yes.
Yeah, he's on a real hot streak lately.
I think Styles is putting Shinsuke over at Mania.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't see Styles retaining. I love AJ, but I think
Unless that's the night when they bring it on the Bullet Club.
True. They could do that.
That'd be hilarious if that was the night they brought in all the Bullet Club just to screw Shinsuke.
That would be hilarious.
It would get Styles over as the heel again.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I'm not big on the whole face versus face thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think you need a good heel to have a feud.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Hopefully they bring in the New Japan history when they have their match, but I doubt it. We'll see.
Alright, so the next day, I was like, okay, we did a SmackDown list. Why don't we do a Raw list?
Let's do an NXT one later. We didn't do one yet. By the way, spoiler alert, we did not do NXT. But let's do an NXT one next after that.
I actually agree to that, too.
Alright, I'll set that up. We can do that one next week. So,
we can do NXT and maybe Impact. Oh, no, their roster, we don't even know. Shit. They change their roster daily.
Maybe a 205.
Yeah, we can do 205.
Well, I included Raw in the 205. I put those together.
We'll figure out something.
Alright. But we can do a separate one for that.
I seriously thought y'all just trolled. Because I thought you were like, oh, we can do an Impact, and then I thought you were like, oh, but we can only do a top 5. And I was gonna be like, why? Because that's pretty much the only people left.
Yeah, there's only 5 guys on the roster.
5 light stars left.
At least they're bringing in Brian Cage. Cut them some slack.
Brian Cage is... Oh, bless his heart.
They're trying with what they got.
All right.
He needs to go somewhere good. Like,
I know.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all have ever seen Cage. He's amazing.
Oh my god, Cage is phenomenal.
I'll tell you another guy who's huge and does not move like he's huge. you guys got to see sometime if you can. Jeff Cobb,
Matanza. Yep. He's another one that's a fucking freak. And another freak in the ring is Keith Lee.
Keith Lee.
Yes.
Keith Lee needs, and another name. These are my two indie names that piss me off because they need to be big, but they're not. Keith Lee and JT Dunn.
JT Dunn's not big because apparently I heard he's kind of a cock.
Huh, I did not hear that. I heard that he broke his neck.
I heard he's kind of a douche.
And I'm actually best friends with his cousin, and I also heard after he broke his neck, he got really hooked on pills.
Well, yeah. He's a pill
That's what made him a douche.
Yeah, maybe that's what made him a douche. Just pop pills now. He
I
gets
mean-
a withdrawal, and he's like, man, fuck you guys.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Keith Lee is gonna be big. I can already see him being big.
Oh, I can already see Vince McMahon sending him letters. Like, hey, what's up? How you doing?
Hello.
Check
I'm
this.
surprised he hasn't tried to get Cage. Like, I'm stuck on Cage.
They had Cage for a while back when he was green as shit. And
WWE?
he kind of burnt a lot of bridges. Yeah, his name was Chris Logan. He was in Florida Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
It was Chris
But
spelled
then
like I
again,
spelled.
EC3 left and went to Impact, and he's back.
Well, he didn't burn bridges though.
Touche.
Yeah, he didn't. He was just like, this didn't work out. Sorry.
He just literally went to them and said, hey, I'm really not having fun.
Yeah. And I respect him for that, because like he could have been like, "Fuck you guys, I don't like my position." He was just like, "Hey, look."
I was happy he's not going by Bateman, and they're actually letting him go by EC3.
Yes, I saw that too, and I'm like, "Fuck."
DC Space 3.
But he owns the trademark for EC3.
I know, it's just funny that like on the thing when they put his thing up, it was EC Space 3.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. But anyways,
I was like, what is he, an alien now? Is he?
Sorry to cut Ethan off, but let's get on with the Raw list.
Okay. Sorry about that, Ethan.
Number 10 is Nia Jax.
Yes. I love Nia Jax.
I do too.
He should be a little higher, but I'm
Nia
okay
Jax
with
should be
that.
completely high on that. The highest woman on that list. She is a goddess. She's a beauty.
I agree, but she needs to change her god-awful theme.
Yeah.
She's not like most girls, though. That's the truth.
But the thing what it is the theme's too poppy, and she comes out trying to do this slow, I'm intimidating entrance, and it doesn't work off right.
Dude, they need to recycle. They need to recycle what they had for Karma.
A Karma theme, or they need to give her a Samoa Joe-esque theme, the heavy beat that's in your face.
Tamina already does that shit.
Well, no, I'm saying no to Karma just because I don't want another crazy chick in
well, no, but that theme in general, like the laughing and like the evil laugh, and then the menacing like.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Something
I thought you
because
they're not like the gimmick. No.
Nia's improving, but I still think I'm gonna say two things. Mullins, you can feel free to disagree with me, but this is what I get. She's still incredibly boring.
Oh, it's okay to think she's boring. She
I'll just
tell you that right now. I think she's hot.
She sounds two-faced, babe.
She's incredibly boring. They tried to pair her up with that god-awful Enzo Amore run, and plus Enzo, I appreciate him trying.
By the way, I wish Enzo could have made this list.
I appreciate that Enzo's trying. I feel terrible for him, etc. That was god-awful. It helped ruin Nia as a heel for me. And then she has this besties thing going on with Bliss, who is also somebody else I want to talk about because she came out and saved Mickie James.
Yeah, Bliss.
That was very interesting.
It was odd. Like, it was almost like...
Are they hinting at a Bliss face turn? I know she's later in the list. I know she's in the top 10.
The funniest part about the whole thing was the fact that Mickie looked at her. In my head, I'd like to think Mickie had no idea who was coming out to save her. Like, in general, like, they just said, someone's going to come out and save you. She's like, okay. She figured, it's gonna be one of the chicks like
Sasha or some shit.
Or Oscar.
And then she's like, fucking Bliss.
She's like, you? Why not you.
Yeah, she looked so confused. She was like, I was like, well, maybe she's just selling it really well. Because, that was a shot.
She kept looking at her like, you?
Yeah.
Okay,
It'll be really interesting to see what happens on Monday.
Yeah.
Yes. Can't wait.
All
Who's
right.
9,
I
Ethan?
do only watch it on Tuesday.
Number 9.
Okay, number 9.
Who wants to walk with Elias?
Agreed.
I 100% agree. And I won't say that he needs to be higher on this list because...
No, I'll take him at 9.
I'll take him at 9 because I'm glad that he's at least getting the recognition he deserves.
He should be. Here's the thing, though. He's over. The Walk with Elias line is over. He's decent in the ring.
Which, by the way,
pretty good.
if you guys happen to catch the Edge and Christian podcast where he's basically said that John Cena actually invented the concept of walk.
Mullins, you will appreciate what I'm about to say. He said, I think he also did a podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he said in the indie scene, I think he was wrestling in Canada or some shit, they actually had him run a gimmick of Rock and Roll Jesus. I shit you not.
Oh,
That's
like
hilarious.
And he won a world championship with it.
Well, like I said, I am so
person-
pumped about him being in the chamber.
I think he's a dark horse. I know he's not going to win, but
Oh, no,
I think it's him solidifying himself even more.
I can see him going down and being the final person in there with the win, whoever wins it.
We all know who's winning it, Mullins. It's Roman.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
I know, but it's Roman. I really want it to be Strowman, but it's going to be Roman. Which reminds me, how
I just want Strowman to break
fuck
the cell.
are they going to eliminate Strowman?
I just want
Good
Strowman
question.
to break the cell. They're going to have to put him through the cell and say, okay,
Or some
well,
shit.
well, you're eliminated because you got put through the cell.
By default, you're injured.
Yeah.
Exactly, some
They're
shit
gonna
like that.
They're gonna have to literally stretcher his ass out,
The
somehow make it
smart
so
way
you
I
don't
would
have to kill
book this, and the way I would book this if I were the E, let's real quick run a Josh fantasy booking before we go to number 8. That happens. Strowman, quote unquote, gets injured. Monday, Strowman's all pissed off saying, I never got eliminated. He starts wrecking shit again, like he always does, because he's Braun fucking Strowman. Beats the holy hell out of Roman, beats the holy hell out of Brock. Strowman is now added into the Mania main event.
Yes.
Strowman
That's the only way you
goes
can really sell
over
that.
instead of Roman.
That's the only way you can sell this match at, honestly.
Because all the fans will actually have somebody to give a fuck about in the match. I appreciate Roman, I appreciate Brock, but Strowman right now arguably has to be one of the most over things in the E, period.
And if you don't put him in that match, where do you put him? That's the issue.
I think he's teaming with Ronda to face H.
Well, because I'm hearing that could be that, or they're looking for somebody to do that. But I don't even then with that, him and Ronda together. I don't like.
I really want it to be
We never
Rock.
saw them interact. That's the issue is we've never seen them interact. Braun is still kind of he's still becoming a face. I feel like he wasn't a full-fledged face till recently.
Yes.
Honestly,
He was doing face tendencies as a heel.
And he was doing the things that he kind of wanted to do. He was more tweener for a while.
Yeah, he was more just almost like a Stone Cold. He was beating up everybody.
Yes.
it would make more sense if they did Braun and Bliss versus H and Steph.
But the thing about it is for whatever reason, WWE is behind. I hope, and I pray to God that they change it. I want Ronda to do some kind of other match other than a tag for her first. I don't know how the hell they're going to build it up.
Yeah, because the only thing is I feel like that's the kind of match you give to somebody who's not going to be sticking around. And Ronda already knows sticking around.
Because the problem with this match, and what I am running into, and what I am seeing, is they're only going to have a month and a half about to build this up. Now, if they bring in The Rock, The Rock, it would be short notice, and it'd be a rush build. I don't want a rush build. I feel for Ronda, she needs a slow build match with lots of hype. Not, oh, hey, here's Ronda Rousey, and she's teaming with The Rock. This is Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. What's the reason? Why are they doing it?
I guess.
Can Ronda actually go?
It's
Well,
kind of like
another thing is everyone's already like foregone conclusion that Ronda's going to be on Raw. Everyone is foregone conclusioning that Ronda's going to Raw. What if she goes to SmackDown? Because honestly, let's say whoever wins the Chamber and whatnot, what if Asuka wants to face them instead?
True. But the thing about it is they were talking, they have thrown around so many different plans for Ronda in the past month and a half.
And then what if Asuka says, you know what, I want to face you, and then she goes to SmackDown and says, hey, I want to face the leader of the WWE's 4 Horsewomen.
Or something. And then Ronda goes over and she beats Asuka, which I think is going to make Ronda, believe it or not, guys, I think that's going to turn Ronda heel.
I heard that they weren't putting Ronda in a title match yet. Not this year, anyway.
And the reason why I say that, and I hope a lot of you guys agree with me, I appreciate Ronda being in the E. I'm a fan of Ronda. She does not deserve to beat Asuka.
Well.
Well, this isn't Mr. Judge. Mr. Judge has joined us.
Oh my God! Did we just get Jordan?
Yep.
Jordan! I messaged the group. I was like, Jordan, you're gonna love what we said earlier in the podcast.
What did we say?
We were talking about his favorite wrestler.
We're talking really, really good about Keith Lee.
All right.
Jordan is like a huge Keith Lee.
Okay. All compliments are thrown around.
All right. This next person is very underrated, I feel like.
Okay.
Bray Wyatt.
Agreed.
Yes.
Bray, so
bless his heart,
deserves to be in the main event scene. I appreciate him feuding with Matt Hardy, but he's so goddamn good, and they're watering him down so much. And I know it's because Vince himself is not a fan of Bray Wyatt. He has said it himself to Bray, face to face, that Bray Wyatt is lazy and Bray Wyatt is fat.
Damn.
Man, you kept it real with
really feel you old piece of shit.
But, I mean, I hate having to throw shade like that, but it's the truth. That's what's been said. And it pisses me off because I completely disagree.
And you know people like a lot of Dusty Rhodes wasn't built like Roman Reigns. Dusty Rhodes is one of the biggest, used to be the biggest star in his time.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
He was a plumber.
May that man rest in peace.
Yes.
You know,
But the thing about it is, and what got Dusty over is what Bray has. Dusty could fucking promo.
Yeah.
I could listen to Bray promo for 3 fucking hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bray literally has the whole package, in my opinion.
Bray is so goddamn good on the mic that he creeps you the fuck out. I'll never forget it. There was this one thing on the network. They were doing WWE Scary Stories or something, and it was Bray in the woods, and he was telling the story about Sister Abigail and the ghost in the woods.
I remember that.
And it's just 4-minute promo, and it was the most unsettling thing I ever watched.
I remember that. That was
it genuinely
amazing.
Creeped me the fuck out because Bray made it so believable.
You want to know something, though? I want my boy Adam Cole to start promoting that.
Oh, yeah, we need some Adam Cole.
I need some story time with Adam Cole, baby.
Bye-bye.
Need some Adam Cole.
Bye-bye.
That's how he says it, too. Also, can we just talk about real quick, Ethan, I'm sorry, I know we're doing the list, but that 6-man fucking tag match was phenomenal.
Oh my God, was it not? I finally watched NXT. That was
such a
We'll have
goddamn
plenty of
good
time to talk
match.
about that match on the NXT stuff.
If we get to the NXT stuff.
Yeah, I'm talking about next week when we do the NXT top 10.
That's true, too. Anyways, Ethan, keep pressing forward.
I think number 8's next.
No, it's number 7.
Oh, wait, no, 8 was Bray Wyatt. My bad. Go ahead. 7.
So number 7. Connor, guess who number 7 is?
Okay. You called me out. So, or you could be talking about your guy. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and guess your guy. I'm going to just say Matt Hardy.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I figured. I was like, well, maybe he's like...
I'm going to piss a lot of people off when I say this. Disagree.
Oh,
Fuck out. No, I'm kidding.
The Woken gimmick...
I love it.
Ethan, I'm so sorry about saying this. I hate it. So far.
So, I mean, yes, it has been lackluster in the past couple of months. I agree with you there. But I feel like them buying getting the gimmick rights and getting the footage rights and stuff like that will open up a lot of doors and make it a lot better.
I know it will.
I feel like...
we have Senor Benjamin, and the minute we have Vanguard 1 and King Maxwell and everything, I will fall for the gimmick.
I feel bad because I feel like that's a pattern. Like, you ever notice that one gimmick that works in another company doesn't work in WWE? Like, am I the only one that notices that?
Jordan, I disagree with you.
All right, bro, explain.
Because,
Okay.
and I quote saying this,
Okay.
Adam Cole.
Okay.
It's literally Adam Cole from Ring of Honor just watered down.
And that's my problem. I want this dude to go balls to the walls with his promos. I want to see him sit down.
I'm starting to not let us say "suck my dick" in WWE.
I want him to sit down with his comfy ass chair with that cocky ass look.
Jordan scum.
Start saying some shit.
I love Adam Cole. I really do. And I love Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. I love the
I
Undisputed
love
Era period.
Love them.
But anyways, Matt Hardy.
6. Oh, never mind. Not Hardy.
The minute Jeff Hardy comes back and we actually get Brother Nero and we get the train rolling with the quote-unquote Woken gimmick, it'll be a lot better than what it has been. The reason why I disagree is because it's been lackluster and Matt Hardy lost to Bray Wyatt in a terrible match. The match was god-awful.
Jeff is supposed to be coming back at any time now, I heard from rumors.
My boy, their match at the Royal Rumble, which wasn't even a match, but it was like just them looking at each other. I'm like, you know what? This is better.
Oh, Jordan, I love the segment. But if that was the quote-unquote payoff match at Raw 25, that was terrible.
Yeah.
2 minutes of quote-unquote terrible action in an awkward ring setting. It was bad. It did not look good whatsoever. It was a mess.
It was terrible.
I would actually put that match in so far on my list of worst matches in 2018.
Understandable.
Anyways.
Nothing could be worse than Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon.
I actually enjoyed that match.
I did
I
too.
did too.
Horrible.
I see where you're coming from.
I almost fell asleep.
Okay. Number
6,
number 6. Asuka.
I can understand that. She has not been beaten. There's nothing you can really say bad about Asuka.
Yeah.
Asuka.
It isn't like she's
Okay.
It isn't like she's only fought random people. No, she's fought everybody.
Yeah.
Let me say something though. Ever since she came to the main roster,
Overrated.
Jordan, please agree with me on this.
Overrated.
Okay.
2 words.
Okay, let me.
Watered down.
And I agree with that.
Where's the stiff strikes? Where's the kicks to the head? Where's the shit that makes her Asuka?
Yeah.
Where is her beating the shit out of everybody? Like here's my thing, okay? She dominated Nia Jax 2 times, and then suddenly Nia Jax just sneaks up on her, and then boom, there's just no domination. Asuka would have got up, slammed that bitch, and it all would have been over.
Slam that bitch.
I appreciate them trying to make Asuka look vulnerable to make the other girls look better. But in reality, we all know the truth. Asuka is leaps and bounds better than any woman in WWE. At the moment.
Overrated. I think.
No. Well, we don't care what you think. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. Thanks.
I'm kidding.
My only problem, though, is her... Jordan, I'm sorry, I know you don't like me bashing on your wrestling babe, but still, her mannerisms, and nobody's ready for Asuka. That is getting really annoying. She's been doing that since NXT.
That and her matches are too predictable.
We will win!
Just like Becky Lynch, she needs some tweaking.
Her matches are way too predictable.
That's because she always wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anyone think anyone else was honestly going to win the Rumble? Did anyone really think the Bellas were going to win the Rumble?
No. I really thought, truthfully, and I know this sounds fucked up, and I was genuinely surprised when Asuka won. I really thought Ronda was going to win it.
Me too.
No, I really thought Ronda was going to come in number 30, and I thought she was going to win. No. Don't get me wrong, I love Trish. I was so happy to see Trish in the entrance and everything, but I really, really thought Ronda was going to do it.
That did drive a lot out of the Rumble, I feel. Trish coming out at 30. I felt so bad for Trish because no one wanted her there, but it was a return.
And the problem about it is, in the way E did it, and I appreciate why E did it that way, but when Ronda debuted after the Rumble, it completely overhyped what just happened.
Well, it was, at the end of the day, it was just the Rumble. The Rumble winner doesn't truthfully matter every year.
I appreciate that, but this
matters for a couple months.
This isn't respectively the men's Rumble, which has happened for God knows how many years. This is the women's Rumble. It was the first.
They had a man win the first Money in the Bank. Did you really think they were going to run through this?
Which, that's something else we could completely talk about, too, eventually, but let's continue the list, and if we have time after the list, Ethan, we'll start going into other shit we want to talk about.
Okay. Number 5?
Number 5.
Seth Rollins.
Oh, why is he so low?
Agreed, but disagreed.
Because he's being drugged down.
Exactly, because Jason Jordan and the stupid tag team storyline they're having him doing is dragging him down. But I agree because he is Seth fucking Rollins.
Oh yeah, if anyone can survive being teamed with Jason Jordan,
Seth Rollins should be Kurt Angle's son now.
Seth Rollins is just too goddamn good. That's
exactly.
That's
more like an Angle than Jason Jordan. Seth Rollins is actually good.
Jason Jordan alongside Seth Rollins is literally a joke. It's like, how can I explain this in a way that makes sense? It would be like Undertaker standing next to James Ellsworth.
Now that Jason Jordan's out, I'd just like to see on Monday on Raw, it'd be like, so someone come up to Kurt and say, Kurt, so I have some news for you. What? So not only is Jason Jordan your son, but so is Seth Rollins.
Or some shit. I would like to see Kurt Angle start blaming Seth for Jason Jordan, quote unquote, getting injured, leading to Seth Rollins versus Kurt Angle at Mania.
That would be. That's honestly something original. I didn't even think about that. You're the first person to mention that, and I'm going to give you tons of credit on that.
Anyone but Jason Jordan. I don't want Jason Jordan versus Seth Rollins at Mania. You guys don't want it at Mania.
I want it at Mania because then it'll hurt Jason Jordan because he's fucking willy-nilly and he'll fucking hurt everybody he wrestles. He'll hurt Jason Jordan and we never have to deal with Jason Jordan ever again.
Well, he's already hurt.
True.
So
exactly, good.
But I agree because Seth Rollins himself is just so good. I mean, for a prime example of that, let's take a look at the last pay-per-view where Jason Jordan actually got injured and Seth carried the entire fucking match himself.
Yeah.
Well, Seth's done it for years. He's done it for years. He's taken way more on than he should have because he was the top guy and he was carrying the ball for everybody.
But that's exactly right, Chris. And that's who I want as my champion. Seth Rollins reminds me Seth Rollins and Steve Raw, AJ Styles.
It's like that whole indie thing we were going back to when I was talking about Sami Zayn. This is one of the indie guys I really like. Because I see a lot of – because there's a difference between being a great indie wrestler and being a top WWE superstar.
Okay,
he is a superstar. What?
Nothing. Keep going, Chris.
He is a top superstar. He is a superstar. He's not a wrestler. He's a superstar.
I think it was this week he did it, but he did – instead of doing his superplex into the Falcon Arrow, he did a suplex into the Falcon Arrow. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. All right. Number 4. Finn Balor.
Oh, God. I hate to say this. I feel like a dick. Disagree.
Yeah.
I feel like a dick. Disagree!
Because
he hasn't done anything.
Finn Balor, it should be Balor Club.
I mean, he hasn't done anything relevant in the past year.
He hasn't. Balor Club has.
And Balor Club is pretty recent.
I understand, but that's why that would be the only way, in my personal opinion, Finn Balor is justified to be on the top 10 list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because Balor Club. Balor Club is reintroducing him to us and is re-getting him over.
Yeah.
And it's re-getting over the club, too. That's why I love Balor Club. That's why I'm behind Balor Club. Only problem is they really don't have actual people to quote-unquote feud.
Because they have no tag team division.
Exactly. Raw's tag team division completely lacks. Totally lacks.
Because they
I
broke
appreciate
everyone
they're
up.
trying, but still.
They broke everyone up.
They broke everyone up, and you need to get mad at me for saying this, but I'm getting really tired of the bar being shoved down our throats.
Yeah, me too.
I understand why they're doing it.
I don't
because
like bars in my throat.
they're a damn good tag team, but they've held the titles enough.
I personally don't like either. I personally think they're both overrated.
Well, I like them both.
That's going to upset a lot of people, but I'm going to tell you right now, I think they're both overrated. They're both way too overhyped. There's nothing really exciting about either of them. The only thing exciting that either of them has done in the last little bit of time, in the last few years, is one of them won a match in 13 seconds at Mania, and the other one spins people for 20 times in a row.
But Cesaro, and here's the thing, and where I disagree with you. Cesaro has potential to be a GOAT.
Yep.
WWE won't let him be a GOAT.
That's true.
I can agree about Sheamus. I said that before about Sheamus, countless times to Jordan. Cesaro is really good at what he does. He is damn good in the ring. WWE is watering him down, and truthfully, Sheamus is dragging him down.
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think that's the case because he was over before Sheamus, but he wasn't like, I guess they don't want to make him world champion.
No, I would be surprised like Dean Ambrose if Cesaro ever wins a world title in his entire career.
Right.
Dean Ambrose never should have won one, honestly, in my opinion. I love Dean Ambrose. We went to the same high school. He's literally from right down the road. But I'll tell you right now, he should have never been a world champion.
Yeah.
I'll permit
I was disappointed.
And disagree with you, Chris Mullins.
I'll permit it best.
Guys, hi. Anyway,
hi, Rob. Welcome to the podcast.
So this is where I disagree with you. Now, the reason why Dean Ambrose was made champion is because at that time, Dean Ambrose was one of the hottest superstars at that time because of his feud with Seth Rollins with everything that he was doing. So when Dean Ambrose came back from filming his thing, he got the Money in the Bank contract because he was one of the hot guys at the time, and we didn't want Roman Reigns with the title, and we didn't want Seth Rollins because he was a heel, so they gave it to Dean Ambrose. Now, Dean Ambrose, did he give a great match at SummerSlam with Dolph Ziggler? No. But does Dean Ambrose deserve another chance at a world title? Yes. And this is where I go to my section. Now, Dean Ambrose is an unhinged guy. Now, if Triple H finally takes over Monday Night Raw, he will let Dean Ambrose be the person who he wants to be, and he will be a credible world champion. However, if Vince is still running Raw when Dean Ambrose comes back, then Dean Ambrose should just be like an intercontinental run-of-the-mill type of guy because he doesn't have the exact Finn Balor thing that you were talking about.
I'm really Joe Yoder eating videos.
I don't want it to be. Because I don't care.
Finn Balor thing, basically. How I look at it is Finn Balor, when he came back, he was already over the crowd. There's no reason why he shouldn't have been champion. He never should have gave Brock the title. He never should have gave Brock anything. This whole predicament of why is Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania is because Brock Lesnar was healthy around the time that Finn Balor wasn't. And if Finn Balor, I think, was healthy at that time, Brock Lesnar would not be champion today. So Finn Balor getting hurt at SummerSlam is the main
Finn Balor is vanilla.
Brock was champion. That's how I look at it.
All right, shall we move on to number 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
The Miz.
The Miz should be number 1. The Miz should be number 1, and I'll tell you that right now. That bastard's carried fucking WWE for like the last 3 years. If you really look at things.
That's true.
He's fucking ran the fucking upper mid card. He should be a fucking main eventer. But he makes the mid card actually worth watching.
It's true. And not to mention, he has gotten so much better, and he has improved leaps and bounds in this past year. It's like he got back the confidence he lost.
Yeah.
I dare I say, Miz should be number 1 in the entire brands.
Well, yeah. I agree with you. I think Miz should be the Universal Champion right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because the Miz, actually, I love to hate Miz. That's how I was.
That's a good heel, then.
Exactly.
Wherever the Miz is, I actually listen to him. He's actually gotten over to the point where I like the guy now, and I understand that he is the GOAT right now. He is the GOAT right now, and he should be Universal Champion. Shouldn't be.
And he has a legion of people behind him, Rob, who agree with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because
I'm just saying.
He's just very, he plays his role to a fucking T.
So, what the heels do? Piss people off. I guess
yes. And he does that so well. But I'm not complaining. I know it's a very good thing. He's literally the perfect heel, in my opinion.
The ultimate example of that, Rob. Keep going.
Sorry, I've never hated Miz as I hated Miz the character, but I never ever hated Miz the person. And I actually liked when Miz was WWE champion because that was at that time where I started hating John Cena because all they did was make him win every single match and make him Superman that he wasn't. So when The Rock busted John Cena that WWE title, I was the happiest person in town because we all know that if Miz is champion, what will Miz do? He will sell out crowds, and he will make you want to watch to see if A, someone's going to knock him out, B, his mouth's going to get him in trouble, or what is Miz going to do next? That is what Miz does when he's champion. Even when he's not champion, he still does his job.
Yep.
And he's gotten also, too, other than the mannerisms and his character, he has gotten so much more confident in the ring.
Yes.
He carries himself so good inside the ring. I would put him up there with AJ Styles in terms of in-ring ability at the moment.
And he's never hurt anybody.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's very cautious, and he's never hurt anybody, and he's never been hurt either, unless it's been like a storyline injury. But
I was going to say, I can't think of a single damn injury he's had.
Right. I was just thinking that, too.
Neither can I, since he's, and the only times he's ever left was storyline injuries for the Marine movies.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, when Maurice has the baby, too, he'll leave for that. But still, he has every right to.
Well,
Right.
I heard that Miz is probably going to be losing to that Mania because that's when the baby's due around that time.
Sounds about right.
But I really hope they don't, because Maurice travels with him regardless. So
well, in general, I don't think he should, because I think that baby should be born on top of the Intercontinental title.
Bless the child.
But here's the thing. This is where.
We already know what happened to other belts that WWE's owned.
Oh God. Oh no. The shot.
Please, thank you very much. So this is what happens. Alright. Miz loses the title, okay. Miz lost the big contract. Yes, this is the big contract you lost in Money Bank this year. The Miz. Who will become WWE Universal Champion? The Miz. Why? Because The Miz and Braun Strowman should be two champions on Raw right now, because Braun is over and so is Miz.
Yes.
Did we mention Braun Strowman yet?
No, Braun's probably number one on this list. I'm just going to spoiler alert. I didn't look, but Braun's probably number one.
He probably is. Number 2?
Alexa Bliss is number 2.
Okay, then yep.
Agreed.
I like it. I was going to say, she should be the top woman.
Yeah.
So what number was Asuka?
Asuka was 6.
Alright, I can respect that.
But Bliss has held down the women's division on SmackDown and Raw in the past year and a half. So
yeah, that's the craziest part, is because if you think about it, she was on SmackDown running that whole division, and then lost the belt, and immediately after losing the belt, went over in the Superstar Shake-Up over to Raw, and then immediately picked up where things left off.
Which I heard is going to happen after Mania again.
Wouldn't surprise me if they pulled it again for her with SmackDown.
Yeah, her just to go back to SmackDown.
Send her right back.
That'd be interesting.
Because, well, if we honestly think about it, SmackDown's women's division has kind of suffered since she left.
Wait a second. I just saw the ultimate plot twist. Ready for this? What if Alexa Bliss is still champion after Mania?
That's so nice.
Hold on a second. Sorry about that.
Wrong Alexa.
That's hilarious. That's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Wrong Alexa.
Wrong Alexa. So this is what I think would happen, and I wouldn't be upset if this happened. What if Alexa Bliss is the first one to beat Asuka, and Charlotte's still champion after Mania? What if they switch brands, and now Raw has the SmackDown title, and SmackDown now has the Raw Women's title?
That would get weird.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that we're forgetting too, and she is going to completely ruin the plans we originally envisioned. Ronda.
Nia. If Nia ends this crazy, undeserved streak a certain clown-faced Asian woman?
No one talks bad about my day, okay?
But if Nia ends this for us all, then she gets a spot in Mania.
And then it would be the fall girl when Asuka wins the title.
Or she could be the champion.
Chris, I hate to break it to you, she's undeserving.
Who?
Nia could not hold, and I would not take a Nia Jax match at Mania on the main card seriously. I would go take a dump.
Savage.
Well, that's all women's matches.
No.
I love
I take a lot of the women's matches seriously, but when it comes to Nia and two other girls who I think you guys are going to agree with me about, Sasha and Bayley.
Oh, Sasha's the worst female on the roster. I'll tell you that right now.
Well,
I don't know. Sasha and Bayley pretty much kind of have that role tied.
Yeah, but Sasha is better at being a heel than she is a face.
Yes.
Sasha's just lazy as shit. I will never forgive Sasha for having to drive a car down the WrestleMania ramp when they made Nia's large ass walk down the ramp.
Y'all guys didn't call me?
I will never forgive that. That was the rudest thing I've ever seen anyone do.
And then there's one other thing too. What they should do with Bayley, and this is my complete honest opinion with it.
They should have Eugene come back to be Bayley's boyfriend.
No.
Warning, guys, I am going on a car ride, so my phone might die, but the reason why I'm doing it is because my dad wants me to go out with him, and I'm so savage that I'm continuing the podcast in the car.
All right.
That's good. Podcast on the road.
Podcast on the road.
So.
Are we going, Daddy?
Oh my God! It's a ride along.
Ride along.
Yeah.
FTLOW ride along.
And also, my dad might chime in too.
All right.
So this is what they should do with Bayley. This is what they do. They need to make her become this vicious person. They get away with this hugging and just snap and start doing what Bayley should be doing, and that's be the beast in the ring. If they do that to her, then she'll be accepted by the crowd. But right now,
the problem though with WWE, Rob, is they never do what we actually want them to do. They do the total opposite.
The problem is, and I don't want to throw around the R word, but she's kind of the gimmick of a tard.
That actually is true, Chris.
Actually, it's not true. WWE does what I want them to do.
No, they're saying that Bayley has the gimmick of a tard. Yeah, maybe my dad agrees with you.
Yeah, like I don't understand why they're doing it, but it's definitely like it's like the Sami Zayn thing. It might not be politically correct to say it, but that's the gimmick that's being run.
All right, you guys want to know who number one was?
Yeah, who's
Let's do number one.
You guys already guessed it.
It was Braun. If it wasn't him, by the way, I'm so glad it was him, because if it wasn't him, if we were sitting on like a stage right now, he'd pull it down with a grappling hook and we'd all fall.
Yeah, or he'd fucking flip it over on us.
Or he would just completely like tear up the whole page and he'd fight everybody on the entire page, and there'd be a lot of dead bodies lying around.
Yeah, I'm terrified of Braun.
So this is how I
like. I'm a big dude. He scares me.
Braun really scares me. But at the same time he scares me, I just want to walk up to him and give him a hug.
I follow him on Instagram, by the way. He's a really cool dude.
He is.
Chill. That's the funniest part. He's probably one of those chill people on the roster.
And he reminds me completely of the Incredible Hulk.
I was going to Hillbilly Santa Claus.
Dad called him the Hillbilly Santa Claus.
Oh, I like it.
No. He's Elf, remember?
He's Elf, Dad.
That was the funniest video.
So the questions.
If your dad has not seen that video, you need to look up Braun Strowman Elf.
I got a question real quick. So what happened if WWE was making Roman Reigns in the match? Just if there was a huge plot twist and making Braun Strowman win the match.
I like it.
Braun Strowman wins the title at WrestleMania. Like,
that's like that WrestleMania moment. Like, that's how you send all the fans home happy. Like,
yeah.
you send all the fans home sad with Undertaker dying.
I would actually.
Jesus.
That was good Mania.
Yeah, it was. Oh no, it was great Mania. It was my favorite Mania I think I've ever watched.
What was?
It was last year's Mania. It was probably my favorite I ever watched.
My favorite still remains to be 22.
It was a really good Mania last year.
Well, like literally, like last year, like kept me in. Like it takes a lot to keep somebody entertained for 7 hours, and they did it with me.
Try working.
Yeah, I was entertained.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally 5 p.m. to midnight, which is right. It went off air on the East Coast a little bit after midnight.
But after the Hardy Boys for me, it kind of got watered down until Undertaker versus Roman.
I agree with the women's match on that. With the women's match that happened before Roman versus Taker, that would win too short.
I got something I got to finish, so I just want to try to talk a little bit. So you guys miss me a little bit. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Cool, video.
So that was both the Raw and SmackDown lists. So next week, I guess next week on Wednesday, I'll set up an NXT and a 205 list.
Yeah, so we can just talk about the 205 Live roster and all that, because obviously they're gaining people now, too. 205 Live is gaining people on the roster, because as far as I have, at least from what I've been hearing, Roddy Strong is officially 205 Live going forward.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That's at least like that's everything I've read is him going forward is 205 Live.
Which I'm not complaining. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, the thing is like, it's what I always talk about. Everyone is always mad anytime you call somebody up and they're not immediately in the world title picture. And I have to explain to people, wrestling is not just about the main event. You can't have a roster where everybody's a main eventer, because then it just doesn't work that way.
That's my problem, and that's been my longest problem, Chris, and what you just said defines what happens when me and Eve heads.
Yeah, it's literally it's not everybody can be a main eventer. You need these guys that are enhancement talents. You need the lower mids, the mid carders, the upper mids. You need all these guys that are there to hold down the fort for their section of the roster.
Yeah.
Like everyone complains about, why is this guy not getting pushed? Because he's so over, or because he's not getting pushed because he's like the guys that are like on that cusp between upper mid and main eventer. There's upper mid guys that could be main eventers, but they're not because they're doing a damn good job at what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
You don't fix what's not broken.
That's true.
Yeah, as I said, it makes complete sense.
You don't
and
screw with something if it's working. You don't screw with it.
Eventually, in the E, I think that each person has their chance to try, but some fail and some knock it out of the park too. And
it's like that's like I used to be that way, where I used to be like, well, this guy deserves this guy. But then I learned, because going back to when I was talking about TEW, Total Extreme Wrestling. Literally, it's a wrestling booking simulator. You have your roster, and it has them broke down by their pushes and whatnot. And not everyone deserves every certain push. Some guys can't handle the kind of pushes that they get. So you got to book it between all that.
Yeah.
Like you got to understand, like everybody has a piece in this giant cast of a roster. Everyone plays a part. And
this is true.
If someone's not playing the part the way, or the part that needs to be played, everything's gonna start to dwindle on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or it'll stick out like a sore thumb.
It'll stick out, and it'll be like, that shouldn't be happening. And when you have fans questioning, hey, why is this happening? That's an issue.
Yeah.
Or when you have people like, that's why certain things don't happen. Like, it's not that WWE doesn't want them to do this, or WWE is just trying to hold down your favorite guy. Like, that's the biggest misconception I've ever heard as it pertains to WWE's booking is they're holding this guy down, they're doing this with this guy, this with that guy. Not everyone can immediately becomes a main eventer. That's like when people say, Dillinger wasn't ready to come up, or this guy wasn't ready to come up. they needed a guy for that random spot. They need people in this. Oh, why aren't they giving Mike Kanellis a better push? Because they need a guy at that level that he's at.
Or Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, because they need that comedy act. Kurt Hawkins is a comedy act. He is a hilarious wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I have to disagree, actually, especially with Ty Dillinger, because they're keeping him off TV and not pushing him because of the 10 chance.
Well,
no, that's
the reason
stupid.
the reason he got called up is because he wasn't ready for the roster. But again, you don't have to be ready. He was not ready to be up here. He in ring wise, he's not to the level where he would be a top guy here.
Ty, in my personal opinion, and it sucks because he is over, will never be a top guy.
Because his in-ring's just not there. His in-ring's not there. He's decent in-ring at best.
Exactly. He's solid. He could hold down a match, and he's a solid mid-carder, but I can't see Ty main eventing a Mania. Unless if he became good at storytelling in the ring, and it was a damn good storytelling match than an actual match.
Like that's what when we talk about these guys that are down there that are getting pushes that have chances and whatnot. Ty's one of those guys that don't. But there's a reason, like guys like Elias. The reason I'm okay with him being at the spot he's in is he'll be there eventually.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
He has it. He has the it factor. Dillinger does not have the it factor. Dillinger has a marquee chant that fans chant just to be part of a group.
Yeah.
And just to think they're cool.
And it's like it's the Bullet Club shit. It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
He's not you cannot convince me that he's worthy based on his in-ring ability.
Mm-mm.
Now that you say that, I think he got called up because he was over.
He got called up because he's over. He didn't get called up because he was ready. He got called up because it's like, okay, cool. We need a guy at this level that will be able to hold it down and be like, okay, cool. You're up to the level of like these lower mid card guys, but you're really over.
I feel like it's gonna be the same thing when Johnny comes up.
Oh yeah, that's
Probably.
the thing. Well, Johnny's probably going to 205 Live.
Yeah. I think that's a given.
Johnny actually has in-ring ability, though.
But still, Johnny will never, in my personal opinion, once again, I feel bad about saying.
He's too small, and I hate saying it. Like, how, small guys can't do this, small guys can't do that. But Daniel Bryan honestly showed us that they shouldn't be doing that. That they over-pushed Daniel Bryan to the point he got hurt.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got hurt because he wasn't ready for
Sad,
that.
but
He was not ready. He was not ready, and no one can convince me he was ready.
CM Punk, the reason why he got all the nagging injuries he had was because he was small and he was overpushed.
He was not ready. That's the thing is they tried to give the ball. That's why they give the ball to guys like a Roman, who's been hurt once in his career. It's why they give the ball to a guy like AJ Styles, who I can't really remember he's had a long ass career. I can't remember any extensive injuries he's ever had.
Or Braun Strowman, who's huge enough that he'll never actually get injured.
Yeah, Braun Strowman, who I'm pretty sure there's not a human on this planet who might be able to hurt him unless they shoot him, which he still might live past that.
He broke his elbow, but he was only out for 2 months.
He did, and I think that was an actual legitimate injury, too.
It was, because his
He
whole
would have
arm
to,
was bruised.
he would have to get put down by a shotgun and multiple shots.
Yeah, like they were talking about the fact that Braun Strowman had like an injury that was supposed to be like a 9-month thing. He came back in 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I forgot about
fucking
that.
Superman.
Yeah, Braun is not a human. Like, I don't understand. Like, I really, like, he puzzles me, like, to the point where it's like he's doing things that are just, I don't know how they're happening. I can't explain it either. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, like how he flipped the arena stage a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't understand how he's doing the things he's doing, and because like I know he's legitimately doing them, because it's not like you can just randomly have like a staged ambulance that's like, oh well, the ambulance is really just a blow up ambulance. No, it was a real fucking ambulance.
And semi truck.
Yeah, it was a real fucking semi truck. He was really lifting it.
That was crazy.
No, guys, we all know that there was somebody behind it pulling it. See, I hate when people try to do that. They're like, oh, no, he didn't really do it. See, it's fake.
Oh, yeah, there was people trying to tell me that it was already being lifted up to the other side, and then I was like, well, if you actually see the camera move to the side that you think it was being lifted up on.
Now that, like, when he flipped the ambulance, you could see Roman getting out of the ambulance. And then
we obviously know Roman wasn't in the ambulance. That's called murder.
That's called murder.
No.
That's illegal. That's still illegal.
No, but when the camera panned from, like, Roman in the ambulance to Braun moving, the door was still open. When they came back, the door was closed. That's the thing that made it unbelievable, too.
Well, yeah, that's the only thing but if anyone really thought, like I said, if you really think certain things in wrestling are real, I have a bunch of magic beans to sell you on a magic island out in the Pacific. You'll believe that story too. Like people when Vince McMahon died who actually thought he died.
Okay,
I didn't think he died.
I'm gonna empty my life savings and head to Ohio, okay?
But like, it's like the people who thought Vince McMahon died. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Wrestling's not real. I know we hate saying it. Us as fans hate saying it. Wrestling is not real. Yes, the stunt it's scripted in ring, but the backstage stuff is not just only scripted; it's fake.
Yep.
They blew up that limo, like, before the show. I heard. When Vince dead angle.
They blew it up the night before, I heard.
Oh, something like that. I don't know.
I heard it was the night before they blew it up, because actually...
And that entire storyline, looking back on it, guys, even though I was a little boy, maybe in 20 years old now, screams fake, because you were going to have Vince come back from the dead to take back his company.
And the fact that no one was saying anything. Like, honestly, if I was sitting at the commentary table and I saw my boss just get blown up in a limo, I'd say, oh, shit!
Right.
I would be freaking out. And there was, like, zero, like, panic or urgency shown on there. It was just the thing. And then, we're just gonna fade away. Like, you figure they'd be like, okay, crap, we're cutting things real quickly, rather than just to fade away slowly as the things burn.
Right.
My question on how they did it and how they got him in the limo but got him back out.
Well, the thing is they like I said, they filmed it the night before. They just used camera cuts.
Right.
Because if you actually see, he pokes his foot out of the limo. He pokes his foot out of the limo. They didn't cut it fully. If you rewatch the clip,
because they did some really good editing.
And then he pokes his foot out of the limo. Like, you can see, like, his foot literally come back out of the limo.
It's kind of like what they do with Undertaker.
Yeah.
Undertaker's another example of how they do camera cuts, because I guess it actually takes Undertaker 20 seconds.
They don't really bury him alive every time he's been buried alive, by the way.
Are you serious?
I'm gonna pull back the veil curtain here for a second until Ethan tells us we can't talk anymore. I'm gonna pull back that veil a little bit for everybody.
So I was actually watching an old pay-per-view, and I'm drawing a blank on which one it actually was.
I recommend everyone go back and watch WCW from 2000. It was great.
But you'll know what I'm talking about, because it was a very well-known moment. And obviously they didn't really do this. But I just wanted someone to explain to me how they did it. So the whole thing when Undertaker was feuding with technically Paul Heyman, and
you're talking about the Dudley Boys pay-per-view.
Yes. And
that was Great American Bash 04?
It was 04, because I was going to say it was definitely 04. I just couldn't remember. So how did they, like, do the whole cement thing? Yeah, I've always, like, it's like, okay, well, obviously that didn't happen, but I'm like, how did they even do that? Because that was live. And they showed camera shots inside. I'm like, okay, I don't really see a separation where, like, the concrete can, like, not actually touch him. I was
Yeah,
so
that's
confused about
one that
though.
I don't know. I personally don't know, but obviously it was fake because again,
Well,
Paul
yeah,
Bear
yeah,
was still
yeah.
living until a couple years ago.
Right. I was just always wondering. I'm like, how did they fake that? Because I was watching it, and I'm like, they did a really good job at making this believable. Because I can't debunk this. Like, obviously it's not real, but I can't be like, oh, he's obviously. I had no idea how they were doing that. Kind of freaked me out. I'm like, I can't figure out how this is not.
Right.
Like I knew it wasn't real, obviously, but like I just couldn't figure out how they did it. Like it intrigued the fuck out of me.
Maybe you could look it up.
I'm gonna have to, because that really bothered me. I'm like, how did they fake this?
Right. Because now I'm intrigued too about that. You said it was.
I'm gonna throw a real shameless plug out here real quick though. Everyone, yes, it's a very easy to crap all over WCW in 2000, especially from the time when Russo and Bischoff took over. But I will tell you, you will literally watch that and be on the edge of your seat the entire episode, every episode, because I literally don't even think they knew what they were doing every night.
I think you're right. I think at that point, Chris, they were literally going with the punches. Like,
It was literally in an interview. Like it was literally almost like booking a just random reality TV show. It was like, okay, who showed up tonight? Because half the roster didn't like being there.
Really?
So they're like, okay, who showed up tonight? Okay, this is what we got to work with. Let's just roll with this week. Well, this guy just got turned on last week. Well, he's gonna get turned on again this week.
Had Eric Bischoff taken over WCW, I think WCW would have still been around, but I think it would have been not as big. I think it would have become like a TNA type environment.
Yeah, it would have taken too big of a drop, and then it would have, out of embarrassment, it probably would have died because it would have been a company that was literally at the top. I think everything happened for the betterment of professional wrestling at the point.
Yeah.
Because at the point of WCW, if it would have taken the drop, it would have been an embarrassment. TNA was low for a long time, then got a little bit of a rise, and then realized, yeah, at the end of the day, we're just kind of like stagnant at this spot.
Yeah.
So everything was for the betterment of wrestling when it as it pertains to what happened when WCW died out, because ECW wasn't gonna last. I'll tell you that. Yeah, everyone loves it. It was a fun concept. It wouldn't have made it past the mid-early 2000s. It barely. That's why, like, honestly, like the WCW as it pertains to the nostalgia, hardcore, grungy feel. That's why it went out the door about a year into the concept of Vince bringing back ECW.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't that time for wrestling. You had Wrestling Society X last for like a season.
Yeah.
Which was like kind of like ECW, but it was almost ECW too much. And there's a reason CZW doesn't get the exposure it should be getting, because it's something no one wants to touch.
That's crazy.
Like they stick sticks in each other's heads and beat each other with light tubes.
Yeah, well, I think there was one time.
Like, I don't know how you fake this stuff in CZW.
There was one time I saw like a clip. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Some guy did like a backflip Styles Clash. Something like that. It was on Facebook.
Oh, I've never seen the clips. I don't know.
I don't know either. It was posted in the group a couple times.
But yeah, like there's I saw a guy get thrown off a roof in CZW.
I think I saw that too, actually.
Like through tables, like, so it wasn't like a fake spot. Like, he legitimately took the spot.
Yeah, I think I saw that too.
Like, and like I've seen guys get like completely like slammed on cinder blocks and sticks shoved in their head. And they take like those kitchen utensils to each other's heads, and it's just like, no, like, that's not wrestling at that point.
That's murder.
Yeah, that's just like it's
That's
like
murder.
it's like the Saw movies. It's blood gore. It's bloodlust.
I
That's
remember.
the kind of shit.
I remember I was looking up because I was intrigued about like the rules of hardcore matches and stuff like that, and I was looking up hardcore matches, and all of a sudden I see this concept of like a death match, and I was like, what the shit?
Yeah, don't even get me started on fucking death matches.
I was like, I had no idea like about that until I like started digging into it, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I still, like, I don't think I've ever finished the death match, and I'm like, alright, here's my stopping point.
Oh no, they have Tournament of Death. CZW has a thing called Tournament of Death, where they run a thing. It's out in the middle of a field. It's out in literally. It looks like they're just out in the middle of a field. They set up a ring. They set up it's basically almost like a caution tape that's the barricade. And then it's a bunch of guys come in for the tournament. Jimmy Havoc won the most recent one. But literally, it's just all kinds of guys just doing stuff like it's like, no. I do not need to see guys get beaten with cinder blocks.
Yeah.
Okay, so Josh had to go because he, like, his phone died, or not his phone died, but, like, I think he lost service.
Okay.
But he explained, and he explained to me how the whole Paul Bearer thing happened, and I think he totally accidentally said the wrong name, so I'm gonna fix it. He was like,
what did he say? So he can.
He said, well, I think he said Paul Heyman instead of Paul Bearer.
Oh.
But no, never mind. He's talking about Paul Heyman starting the Flow, so never mind. He was just like, apparently he was there, or he just found this. I don't know. He was like, I was there, and they screwed up with the video, and it totally sucked the life out of the match. When Paul Heyman first started the flow of the concrete into the box, they showed the tight spot of Paul Bearer. Okay, see, I didn't see where he mentioned Paul Bearer right there. Paul Bearer on the Titantron with the concrete pouring in. Live in the arena, the concrete truck did not start to fill the box. So the video showed the box filling, but live the flow of concrete did not start until a couple seconds later. It seemed to me they did not intend to show the shots of Paul Bearer in the box to the live audience. There was indeed a stuntman in the box who was promptly removed from the box after the show. After the show went off the air, he looked like a fat gray mess of a man being carried off on a stretcher. Jesus Christ. That's like that explanation almost made me a little uncomfortable.
So they really put a human being in there, Vince McMahon.
Okay, so technically it kind of was real.
Okay, so that's the one time that we decided, hey, we've been fake for so many years, guys. We're gonna do one thing.
Let's almost kill someone.
we're gonna do one thing to get our rep up. It's like you have that one gangster in a gang who's like, man, I haven't really killed anybody lately, and he's like, you know what? I've kind of just like passed on this whole like people think I would kill them and whatnot. But let's go ahead and really do it one time.
Yeah, right. That's pretty much what I felt like when I was reading that. Like, it was so uncomfortable, but that's pretty much how.
Like that's just kind of gross thinking about that. They literally put a man in concrete. So many things could have gone wrong. So many things could have gone wrong.
Like, I hope that man got so much, like such a huge paycheck for just doing that.
I hope his paycheck I hope he's still getting paid.
Yes. Because, he may have,
diseases.
Like medical issues.
Yeah.
It's like, Vince, I still have concrete in my lungs.
He's like, hey, who are you? We never ran that angle. Call back later. Vince, you said angle. We know it was you.
God, I was really curious, because, they made it look so real. And I'm like, well, the live audience was there because it's not like he was backstage somewhere. He was like, it was right at the top of the stage.
How much time we got, Ethan?
As long as you guys want.
I mean, I don't want to keep anyone too long because I could literally talk about wrestling on.
12 minutes. We can go
Okay,
another
we got
12 minutes.
Cool.
I'm gonna say we usually stop at 2 hours, so yeah, I mean,
we're like 25 minutes to 2 hours, so.
Okay, well,
are we really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I just definitely want to say.
Oh yeah, we started late. That's why I was like, but it. I was thinking we started right at 5. Never mind.
Like personally, I just definitely wanted to put over WCW. With us talking about old footage and whatnot, definitely want to put over WCW. They did a lot of very outlandish things in their last year being around, including they lit Sting on fire, then they buried Sting. They did a lot of bad stuff to Sting. Like people talk about Vince McMahon not treating Sting right. WCW didn't do too much toward the end either.
True.
They almost killed that man.
They almost killed a lot of people. WWE anyway. I mean, they killed Owen essentially.
Yeah.
Because that was lazy, like safety on their part when that happened. Because they didn't.
Owen could have pulled out of that though. I will say.
That was just such a sad thing, and I don't want to blame anybody.
I don't like blaming anyone with that, but I will say that because he could have pulled out. People who say, "Oh no, he couldn't have pulled out of that," he could have pulled out of that because even at the very worst, Vince McMahon says, "Okay, well, you know what? Then I'm gonna be very angry at you and fire you." Okay,
but at least he would still be alive.
Show up on WCW the next night, man. You'll be back in WWE eventually. Trust me.
Right. All right.
I'm sure they practiced that a million times. It's just because Michaels was able to do it. It was just an unfortunate accident.
Oh, but that's the thing is it was just it got caught.
Right.
It was more of it was literally a malfunction. It was something that couldn't be prevented.
Yeah. It's not like, okay, look, we've tried this, and it's only worked 1 out of 5 times. Let's just do it.
Like it worked with Sting for years before this. Like that's the thing is this is in 1999. Sting ran that same thing from the whole time he was being the Crow. The whole time he was running the Crow, black and white Sting, he had ascended from that same spot and ascended down. He had done that same thing.
Right.
And it never screwed up once for him.
Honestly, I thought that was really cool when he always did that. Just like drop down from like nowhere.
Dude, especially how fast he did it too. Like, cause sometimes he would just literally just be like, boom, down. And it'd be like, whoa, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I wish they would do something like that now, but I feel like they're afraid.
WWE will never touch that again.
Yeah, I feel like they're afraid because of what happened with.
Well, no, because even if it goes well, the publicity they'll get out of it because they'll say, WWE does this after this happened, because they're the scapegoat anymore. Let one of the other companies try it a couple times. Let one of the other companies do it. Because WWE is the scapegoat with anything anymore. It's always, I always find it funny anytime I hear on like any of these articles where kids are killing their siblings by doing wrestling moves. It's always referred to as a WWE move.
Right.
Oh no, I saw a couple times where they mentioned a guy who was not even in WWE and never had been in WWE. They'll mention a guy's name of the move that they did, and it's a TNA guy, and they'll be like, WWE move? No, it's a pro wrestling move. Pro wrestling is not just WWE. You don't blame one company for something happening.
Look, I've wrestled with my friends for years.
Oh, I used to wrestle with my friends for years, and none of us ever got hurt.
Right. And there was one time, and I blame him. Sorry to say this. There was one time I was like wrestling with my brother, and he was like, he was a little on the young side, so I was like, look, just trust me, I got this, don't freak out. And maybe I shouldn't have said don't freak out.
Oh yeah, because that's usually the next thing that happens is freak out.
Yeah, because like I think I went to do it. I don't remember if it was an F5 or an attitude adjustment, but like he freaked out, and I'm like, and he started moving. I'm like, you're about to hurt yourself. Like I literally felt it. I was like, I didn't have enough time to say it, but I was thinking, you're about to get hurt. It wasn't that bad, but he did get hurt. I was like, I told you not to freak out.
Well, like that's the thing is like, because I learned at a young age even how to tuck my head for pile drivers.
Oh yeah, see,
like I learned at a young age.
That I wouldn't touch.
I probably taught myself professional wrestling, honestly.
That I was afraid to try.
Like
that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna power bomb you. I'm gonna.
But in swimming pools and whatnot, like any move is easy to hit on somebody.
Yes. Yes.
Like it's the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
It really is.
Like, and I can tell you, I've never either hurt somebody or been hurt myself. So I'm telling you that the reason that these kids are getting hurt is because they're just getting hurt because they're being assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're just being stupid.
Yeah, they're being ignorant. They're not taking into like their mind, hey, this could hurt somebody. I see people get hurt with this move all the time on TV. Why don't I try it?
Yeah, I accidentally super kicked a kid in the jaw one time. I didn't mean to connect with it, but it kind of just happened. And it happened, and he was on the floor for like a good 5 minutes.
That happened with my friend and me. Oh my god. He hit the super kick on me, except he actually made contact.
There was a time where... This was a time where, yes, we were actually trying to hurt the people because we were kids and we just didn't deal with people we just didn't deal with shitheads. We were at the local baseball field. It was me and my cousin. Our sisters were playing softball, and so our families were there anyway. So these two shitheads were talking shit and whatnot. So we decided, hey, we're gonna get into a WWE style brawl at the ballpark.
You know, I just remembered something. When we did our show last week, at the very end of the show, we started talking about beating people up. And here we are doing it again. So don't try what we say at home.
Yeah, like this happens to be our full circle moment of the night.
John's
don't be an asshole about it.
John's story though was perfect.
So basically, we're there at the ballpark and everything. I remember my cousin was chasing the kid. I was running around the other side. So he ends up coming with me. I gore the shit out of him, literally. He like flies in the air and then hits the ground. And my cousin put him in the walls of Jericho.
Oh my god. I think the most pain I've caused somebody is with submission moves. I did the accolade to my friend, and I was like, except I was being a complete dick about it. How? Because I legitimately sat on him and pulled his head back.
Oh god.
He's like, okay. I was like, no, you can't tap out yet, bitch.
No, there's tap outs yet. This is pinfalls only.
Yeah, see, I was just trying to wear him down. Like, that's it.
All right. I think it's time we wrap it up.
Yeah, before anyone confesses of murder or anything, we better wrap things up.
I did not kill that woman.
Any last comments before we wrap it up?
Well, I'll see y'all next week. This was a great show. I enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next week. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Please, as always, smash the like button, subscribe. You definitely want to follow us on any forms of social media you can. And definitely catch you next week.
Bye.